Back here to the Crossfire Global Invitational. I am again Stephen Craig, joined here by Jonathan X Famous X Holland. Duh.
Appreciate that, bro.
Throwing
Coming in here to an exciting match, coming right back into it.
So hype. So hype.
Mainly because I got some food. No, I'm just joking. But it was
delicious.
Mainly because this matchup is going to be probably the most exciting so far in this whole tournament.
For sure. And super impactful, right? TGF and Makta both sitting at 3-0. Somebody's got to finish 4-0 and somebody's got to finish 3-1 and then face the Titan that is SV. I mean, who look just as dominant as ever. I mean, it's terrifying. But
there's no real chinks in their armor.
No.
Not that I've shown so far.
Except for maybe Emzen underperforming on a personal level a little bit.
But then again, it's like they're winning by so much, like I said. Yeah, I still kind of count that as just something.
Right.
But it's not really much, you know?
Yeah. But that being said...
You know Emzen's going to perform when he needs to.
That's true. That's also
true. The game gets tight, he's going to frag.
That being said, back to the match at hand. Makta versus TGF. Are you willing to predict Makta?
Oh. You know what? I'm just going to go with what I want to see. I want to see Makta win. I do.
I want to see Makta win too. I think everybody wants to see Makta win because I think it's... If you have to face SV, you want to do it in the final. And nobody wants to see an all-China final. And I think that's the ideal scenario in which that happens is Makta beats TGF. And then either it's going to be Makta or, in fact, it might even be Boss in the finals against SV. But we'll have to see.
Well, all I have to say about this match is I want to see the sniper matchup. I want to see...
That's true.
Emzen might really just start showing up in this. And just seeing him and Revenge go at it.
You mean TF?
Oh, why did I say Emzen? I meant...
we were just talking about...
Because you just said the final and I just started thinking about that. I don't know. I was looking ahead too far into the future. Basically what that means is Mock just going to the finals, by the way.
There you go. You heard it here first. Quote him on it. If they don't go, flame him mercilessly.
Come on now. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the sniper matchup even more so than the Emzen Revenge storyline. I want to see TF and Revenge.
They have a little bit more similar playstyle, right?
Exactly.
But you would have to say TF's tends to be more tempered than Revenge's.
Oh, more stable, more defensive in a little bit.
Right.
But he also knows how to go aggressive.
And that's very true, right? So and that's something that we've seen Revenge look better about with the addition of Cart to this lineup. We'll see if the fear starts to strike in. You know, you've talked about it before that in the past, Makta doesn't. You know, they don't have the best record against China, and it's often from your perspective that they change kind of the way they play.
You know, and I'm not even too sure. In my recollection, I don't even think they've taken a map off of China. So it might be another Europe scenario where they always are contenders, but they can't even take a map off of China.
Interesting. Well, if there was a time to do it, now would be a very good time.
A perfect time. You're going to go home with a nice chunk of change if you get second place, and you can also fight for first without having to face the beast before the final.
Right. Take the easier road to the final. But that man on your screen definitely going to be hugely influential to the rest of this match. Jerry there has been a great pickup for TGF. It's shown in this tournament. He's had a pretty good tournament for himself, but you have to say a lot of it has fallen onto Chongar's shoulders, and he's been equal to it.
I'm not sure about this high pickup. Do you know anything about why, how the trade even happened?
I'm not sure why OO and Zhao Zhao left the team. I'm also actually not sure where they went. But that being said,
HG, no.
It would surprise me if Hi continues to underperform. I consider him a quality, rock of a player who tends to consistently frag, and it's a little bit surprising not to see that out of him. That being said, let's take a look at the Makta lineup with ZDD, Cart, Aldrin, Revenge, and
ZYK. ZYK.
Aldrin there on your screen, who has looked
the one-on-one king, as I keep calling him. He is such a beast. Anytime you face him, and not even just a 1v1 battle, but just a one-on-one angle battle, you lose. He just wins all of them.
Yeah, and Cart there sitting at a .97, which is actually a little bit low here for the 3-0 that they currently have, but
And
Revenge
a little surprising.
1.5.
A little surprising coming out from Cart because he's been making a lot of impact. But, impact frags doesn't necessarily mean he's fragging hard.
Yeah, that's true. And that could also be another testament to exactly how much a leader he's been for this lineup. As we see only himself and ZYK under that 100 mark. But ZYK has had some impact ones for sure. He's got that 4K right there at port, right?
And oddly enough, it showed 0 multi-kills on him.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe they didn't count the stats from that, or maybe they just missed the multi-kill.
Or it's because it happens so quickly that it only counts as 1 kill.
Yeah, maybe that was it. On his screen, it said, kill.
Exactly.
Just headshot. And he's like, wait, but I got 4.
Can't calculate it fast enough for you. Sorry.
He's faster than the computer.
But yeah, I think the low kill score there for Cart, and the fact that they move him into this team and that he's clearly stayed with the team, I think is very indicative of what, it's still hard to say from the outside looking in exactly how much of this is Cart's influence on the team, the way that they're playing so much better. But I think part of that lower end of the KDA and the higher end that we see from Aldrin, or is it Aldrin who used to be on the calls for them?
No, it was ZDD. He's 1.31.
Yeah, so I think that also is a testament to it, right? Is that ZDD has been freed up and has looked a lot better. So even if it is just from that perspective that ZDD needed someone to take over comms so that he could really get things done, but they're going to have to overcome this young gun on your screen. Chong-R has looked amazing this tournament. He continues to put up numbers, and whose job is it here to try and shut him down?
Aldrin, king of the one-on-one angle battles. I don't really know what to call it there. I want to say one-on-one, but that makes you think of 1v1, right?
Yeah,
but
that would be exactly what. Well, I know late round 1v1s.
One person alive on the other team too. But no, I mean, like, this man, everybody he's faced up against, he takes them. It's only them looking at him looking at them. He wins the battle every time, just cleans them up. If you can do that to Chong-R,
I was gonna say Dual King, but
that's not bad. That's not bad.
As long as you leave the S off of it, I don't think it's copyrighted. So there you go.
Yeah, well, the Dual King ZYK, or not ZYK, Aldrin. We're looking at ZYK though.
Yeah, Aldrin, but is he the Dual King when it comes to Chong-R?
We'll find out. He definitely has been smacking of everybody else. Doesn't look like he's given them much of a chance to even shoot. So if Chong-R doesn't even have much of a chance to shoot,
that's a good point. Well, let's go ahead and see what we're going to get as far as bans come in, and it's going to be Subbase in Ankara. Will it be Black Widow, Mexico, or Port? It will be Black Widow, and that's a bit of a rough draw, you'd have to say, for Nocta.
Not even, because they have Revenge. They've been notoriously actually good on Black Widow against pretty much everyone. I don't think I've ever seen them match up against a Chinese team, though, on Black Widow. So we'll see how well they can take on a Chinese team.
I will say it's certainly a strong match for TGF, as they are supporting that. They've already won once here on it, and it's going to be, that makes, what might be I'd say we have 2 featured matchups, right? Between TF and Revenge, and Aldrin and Chong-R.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
So perhaps on Black Widow, it's actually going to bring the Revenge TF one to the forefront because of, just look at the last match we had. How important was the Jinba versus MXM matchup?
And they weren't
both
even
popping up.
Yeah, and they weren't even looking like very strong, too strong of snipers in their past matchups either, and they just shined on Black Widow.
So definitely be something to keep an eye on as we do go look at the different paths around the map of Black Widow. So then, if you just take that matchup straight up, take a prediction, who do you think is going to outperform the other, TF or Revenge?
That's another tough one. I'm going to have to say TF. TF is just, he's too good. Revenge is too on and off. Obviously, if Revenge really gets going,
that's what I was
if
thinking.
He takes out TF at first and maybe he gets like a 3K first round, then I can see it going Revenge's way. But 9 times out of 10, that's probably not going to happen. So I'm just going to have to say, consistency-wise, TF.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Revenge gets hot, we've seen him take over matches in the past, and TF, he's consistent with his aggression, and he'll get you an early pick or he'll get you a couple, but he won't just absolutely take over a match for you necessarily. He needs a support staff, right? He needs somebody else like the Chong-R behind him who's going to be able to go and clean up after he gives them the advantage. But Revenge can sometimes just go out there and basically clean up the entire thing himself.
The other team will feel like, okay, is there anybody else here besides Revenge? Because I just keep dying to Revenge. Can he stop?
That being said, we've seen some really nice performances out of this man on your screen as well for this TGF squad in Shiobi.
Especially in the last match he had. Shiobi was just a force to be reckoned with. He was just taking over B control by himself, which is odd. Odd to say the least, because they were throwing like 3 to 4 bodies up there on him, and he was still at least taking out one consistently. There was like one time where he didn't.
Yeah, and Jerry has been consistent for the team. You have to say again, like you said, the only thing that you can really point out is maybe somebody underperforming, at least individually outside of like the team strategy and these kinds of things. It's been high.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only weakness I can really see in terms of like individual on the TGF.
Yeah, so we'll have to see who it was. TGF who's taking Blacklist. Dan was
TGF was on the left, so I assume they got the first pick, and they're going to pick Blacklist. So
Blacklist is just deciding what he would choose. Hold that spot as we are going to get into game right now. Pacific Mokta TGF to decide first seed here for Group A at CFGI.
Well, TGF might actually be on the...
We'll find out in a second. Here we go, and that is TGF on the attack in your face.
I just saw their name in blue. Come on, that's not fair. Why did you do that? Early aggression here from ZYK, and it doesn't work in his favor here. He does get one pick, but 2 of his teammates, or him and one of the teammates, gets taken out as well. The ZDD bringing it up from the bottom. Revenge getting picked off by TF, but also picking off Chong-R.
Into the 2-on-2 we go, but high on low HP, and TF with the op in his hand. Need to be the one to get it done, but there's so much time left to allow TF to work. This could very much work in their favor. ZDD and Aldrin, I think, probably just need to hunker down in one spot and look for the retake. Go ahead.
But Mokta doesn't hunker down, and look at them. They're making moves right now. Now, if he pushes out a boxer right now, he's just going to run into an op. And also, if ZDD makes this bad decision to peek BC right now, then he may take a headshot by High, but unless the timing works in his favor, which it looks like it will, he's definitely going to catch High off. There's no way High will win this battle, and there you go. ZDD takes one down.
That's unlucky. Looks like he had it lined up, but he couldn't quite get it. Now that they have their position and the bomb down, it should be a pretty much impossible round here for TF unless he pulls out that pistol. Is he going to try and fire one off through the smoke and roll the dice? Nope, it is in fact ZD who's going to see a leg in the smoke.
Composure from Pacific Mokta. Playing together so well, and even playing apart, get together at the same time so well.
As well as the thought to put down that smoke.
And you've seen that early aggression from them. They're doing it again. And this is something you wouldn't have seen from Mokta before against a Chinese team. They definitely would have been playing passive and back in the side here. ZDD actually picking up a 3K in the round before. That's nice from the old leader himself.
Yeah, indeed. He's looked really good, and that's Mokta out to an early 1-0 lead here as they fan out across the map. She'll be also with the op here. Going to put TF on the double op, as we did see Shiobi take a shot. I don't know, on this version, can you switch? Oh, I guess he didn't take a shot because he did switch to the AK. Is it that way if you don't leave spawn and you keep looking?
No, if you take a shot, you definitely cannot switch this version.
So I guess it was TF who we saw take the shot, because I did see him switch off of it for a second, and he is still sitting there by spawn as if he's going to decide to trade off of it here in a minute. But he's yet to do that, and we might actually see the double op set up here for TGF. But very slow start here, winding it down towards that minute mark. We do see movement from Makta, looking like they might get a little impatient here. Interesting smoke there from CDD.
CDD he's not afraid. He's just peeking.
Can you tell the difference when it's flying in, whether it's a smoke or a flash?
Yeah. But that just comes with playing time. At first, they look the same, but whenever it's flying in, you naturally know at a point that it's too brown.
Okay. So, because, I mean, ZDD tossed it out to fake a flash, right? He didn't need a smoke in the corner there. So I was wondering just exactly how effective is that at the
It still can work, but most times I don't get caught off guard by a smoke.
But it might even just by that
just a
millisecond. And Revenge going to pick a big one up here onto Jerry, and Cholar going to go down himself. Going to find 34!
Well, no headshots there by the Deagle, but still a 1 Deagle, still Cali right there. Wow, what a beautiful 4K by Revenge coming out on top of this headshot. Or not this headshot battle, but this out battle.
2-0 now, coming in. A long second round there, but worth the wait as Revenge picks up a fourth there. A lot of aggression here being shown at long A, but looks like it might even be faked here from TGF as they might try and leverage that onto the cat take. And, so many low here for Makta. Will they be able to win these from the low ground? We'll have to see. Low versus high ground here as they come up one at a time, and Cart going to go down again. And, well, you have to think. Nice. So Jerry showing that he can use the Deagle as well. I was going to say, though, you have to think Sun Tzu, he had a point when he talked about the importance of high ground.
Oh, it's actually really prevalent in CF. Because the high ground, generally, they can see much more of your body.
As well as more of your head.
Yeah, that too.
And nice little cleanup there by Jerry with at least 2 on the round, I believe. Pretty well spread for that round for TGF. And good for them to get on the board. A very clean round from them. I liked it tactically. I don't know what you thought about that last round.
Yeah, they definitely they figured out what Makta was doing there, and they played perfectly against it.
And again, we see Makta pretty much with the exact same opening that they did last time. TGF not necessarily in the position to take advantage of it at the same pace, but it looks like they're trying the same play in response.
They're getting enough people here to where if they just surprise attack, there's no way that ZYK can hold this off.
And it looks like they've got flashed out a couple times here now, and ZYK, great shot there on the Shogi.
They still haven't taken him out yet. It's a 2-for-1 trade right now with TF picking up one and High picking up one of his own, so it's a 2-for-2, 3v2. But the help is in favor of TGF. They say that they get one gets taken down again, and one on A long just trapped here. ZDD's got to make his way out.
Oh, nice little kill there by Aldrin, looking for 2, picks only, High 4 on the round.
Oh, High. He had to step up this game.
Yeah,
he needed to, in order for them to win.
Back-to-back 4 kills. One was an Ultra, but this one 4 spread out by High, but still 4. So count it.
Aggression caught off there. But Card actually ended up getting one of his own, so it's okay. But it's not okay that 3 are falling like that, and 2 more. Even again, just the battles are going back and forth over and over, and CDD just battling, just getting the 3K there. What a beautiful shot by ZDD. Just the confidence to keep peaking more than one player over and over and over.
This has been such an explosive match so far, and it's looking like it's not going to slow down as ZYK bolts out immediately through the double doors. No fear. Gets taken down by Jerry, and actually, even though he gets the jump, and we'll see if TGF decides to slow it down here with that pick, but for all the world, it hasn't looked like any of these rounds are going to go slow even in the slightest. As, Jerry going to get one onto Aldrin, and High going to catch Cart trying to push through a smoke there, but not before Cart takes down TF. So TGF will suffer their first casualty of the round, but it's still a 4v2 here, moving into the second half of the round. Not even second half, there's still 1:45 on the clock, and this has felt like the slowest round.
I mean, it's just so much firepower on each side, as you can see. Now that Makta has actually come to play for once against a Chinese team, their individual skill is just showing. They can take the battles that most regions just cannot take against China and win them.
ZD's going to have to win a couple battles there, but gets too many angles to look at, and it will be Jerry who cleans it up. And looking like we're going to have another close one on our hands. Do we get 4 overtimes in a row?
Let's hope that does not happen. But if we look at it this way, I think if it is going to come down to a close game, TGF will take it out.
We haven't had a golden round yet, though.
Yeah, we have on Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
But if it comes down to it, like I said, if it comes to a really tight game, overtime, 10-8 kind of game, I think TGF will come out on top. So Magda, they need to start to get ahead early and finish this before it gets too out of hand. If it gets too close, they don't want to be there.
I think they definitely need to come out with a lead on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Because it seemed time and time again that we know the Chinese teams have the ability to take to the attack. And Revenge going to get a nice one, but gets traded out by Chong-R, and Jerry going to pick up another one. And
those aggressive angles by Revenge. And Shobi coming out middle, showing him that, hey, this is my spot. I don't know what you guys say this is your spawn. No, this is my spot.
This is in danger of getting a little bit out of hand. Magda need to try and do something to slow down what TGF is doing. TGF is just going with such pace and such pressure. Magda maybe needs to... I mean, how do you slow down this TGF onslaught?
You either need to match their pace by playing aggressive like they were in the beginning, or you need to slow it down by playing uber passive, but also on one side of the map, taking control of that one side. So it's either uber aggressive everywhere, or aggressive a little bit on one side of the map, and passive, really passive.
That being said, it looks like of their own volition, TGF at least going to go a little bit slower into this map or into this round and give TF some time to work here. Should be pre-firing an angle there. Isn't going to find anything for it as Magda holding pretty deep here. Should be convinced that somebody's trying to come from. What angle is that he's holding there? Not sure.
I looked away just as soon as he went to him.
Fair enough. That being said, though, bomb is headed towards long A. 3 men there. And we got 2 watching onto Cat. It does look like it is going to be that 3-2 split. So this could go very well for Magda if they can repel this initial attack. And that grenade thrown at yourself is probably not the way to do it there. As kills come in fast and furious, Shobi with another double kill for himself. He's really starting to pop off. It's been all Jerry and Shobi. Look how many, everybody's got so many kills.
Those rounds were way too clean. The beginning, all the aggression from both sides, it was just looking back and forth, back and forth. But these last 2 rounds, all in favor of TGF. And it's 3 rounds in a row for them. It's getting to be too much here. They need this 5-4 hack. They cannot 6-3 and win out.
I mean, it's showing on the kill scores, right? I mean,
Chong-R just murdering them by himself. He picks up a triple kill. Chong-R, he's not holding back here. He doesn't want to give him any more rounds. And Shobi up mid again. It's falling apart for Magda here, where at first they looked like contenders, true contenders.
I mean,
what a difference a few rounds can make.
If you look at it at this point, the way that it had been going early on, there's no way you would say nobody on TGF is under 1.00 for their KDA at the current state of the game. In fact, Jerry's at a 2 KDA, which is a little bit ridiculous. And she'll be trying to contest in there with 9 for himself.
Wow. Just wow. I did not think the half would end that way. And I feel a little sad there for Magda. I really want to see them pull out on this match. But they didn't necessarily fall apart there. It's just they couldn't seem to just stop them. That's what it was. They were just getting outshot near the end.
Without a timeout to utilize, it's almost... They almost have to be thankful that it's the rounds up.
Yeah. Because that train was getting going.
Yeah. Not only was the TGF train starting to roll, it seemed like the Magda train was derailing. That they
had
TGF was giving them no time to breathe, except for maybe one round where they gave a little bit of time for TF to work, but went well before the 1 minute mark.
It was just that the Magda phone was off the hook. They had no way to answer.
Splashed out, but does seem like they have a pretty good idea where he might be. Nice flash there in response. Chong-R gonna get Shilby again with another double kill. How many times have we seen him picking up two? Chong-R will trade 1-for-1, but only Revenge and ZYK left in the 2-on-3. And as I say that, Revenge gonna make it a 1-on-2 after Shilby gets traded. And only 28 HP to work with here. I think probably gonna stick with his op here, as straight up trades are not going to benefit him. Oh, this could go really well.
Oh! The timing is just not in his favor here. And it still would have been a really hard shot to hit with him jumping like that, though.
Yeah, he was holding a different line, but he would have had the opportunity to hit the flick, right? Regardless, a nice round win there for TGF, and it's, I mean, all of a sudden it's 7-3.
Doesn't even look like it was a close game at the beginning of that.
Right.
Like, if you just watch the past 5 rounds or so, it just doesn't even look like it's good.
If this was the first, even if it, never mind. It's weird.
If the last 5 rounds were the first half, it would be a different story.
Just, I mean, if I was going to say, if you turn the tournament on its head and reverse every game, you'd be like,
Oh, if this was the first match, you would still think Magda was in their same old ways.
Right. So they need to just change something up. Luckily, they're on the attack, so they can fall back super defensively if they really need to slow things down. But Shilby is in behind the defense here. Super deep. We've got one. He's looking for more. And the reverse MXM, you might even call it.
Yeah, he's on the GR side in their spawn.
Chong-R, though, the last man alive. Magda looking like they're finally going to be able to stop the bleeding. But this wouldn't be the first 1v3 Chong-R's had on this exact map. And he's looking for it. He's got vision. Oh, I don't know if that one round he fired off was worth it there, Chong-R.
Yeah, they're going to be running up Cat now, it looks like. Maybe he can hear it from there. Yeah, he can definitely hear it from there. So what is his play going to be? He's probably going to just jump right behind them. Yeah, and he gets spotted out, but knowing Chong-R, he's probably going to get this kill right here.
He does get the one, but it cost him 55 HP thereabouts, as I believe he was 4 HP at the beginning of this fight. And that grenade not going to catch him, but they are fully aware of his location. Holy moly.
Goodness. Don't tell me he's going to get another 1v3 here. The clutch master, Chong-R, he just doesn't miss. But ZDD is playing a good angle if he actually keeps up that angle he was on.
They've seen
and
each
now
other.
He's spotted out.
Chong-R using the
ZDD.
hugely important kill.
Insanely important. Mainly because his teammates were both taken out, and they needed that for a confidence boost.
Not only a hugely important kill, but a hugely important round, as you said, to
Stop the train.
stop the bleeding.
Take the rails off the railroad.
Oh, so he gets so aggressive. Hopping through the smoke. ZDD says, whoa.
But at the same time, Cart doing the same exact thing here in the middle, but it works out for him. So 5v3 here early on.
And Magda, everything said, if they can put this round on the board, they've clawed it back to a 5-7 and leave themselves a chance. But they've got to close it out here. They have the man advantage. They need to work with it. We've seen almost no action beat either side. Really? I mean, have we?
No, not really.
It's all been about the A side. So nice little mix up here, going to be on the beat. Hi going to go down immediately to Aldrin without trading, and ZDD going to find a nice kill there on the Chong-R. And a spray coming through, and it's going to be ZDD taking out TF.
Almost a clean, perfect round there.
Yeah.
Only Revenge falling. Well, that's a good way to come back. 2 rounds in a row there.
Yeah, and it certainly seems like Magda has calmed down. They found a way to try and to punish the aggression from TGF, which just naturally is not going to work as well from the offensive side. And another round here where they're going to have the 3v5 advantage. And, ooh, a nice flash there.
But he dodged that flash, and he might be able to take out TF, and he is. Wow, what a beautiful play there by Aldrin. He actually kind of turning around on that. And a perfect round this time from Magda. Revenge did not fall.
What is this matchup? It looked for a second there like it was just going to be a total stomp for TGF, but Magda's storming back to a 6-7.
I don't know. I mean, if I saw the score and I was watching the first couple of rounds, I would say, okay, they probably just went back and forth a little bit. Well, what really happened was they went back and forth a little bit for a couple rounds, and then Magda got smashed, and now TGF is getting smashed.
But I feel like if this were like the last match we watched between Cherry Stars and Rude, we may have barely just swapped sides.
Yeah, it's happened so quickly.
Every round has
so
been
aggressive, both teams.
At such pace, full on aggression, and the pace has 100% been set by TGF. And I think that caught Mokta. They expected it early on, right? And they matched it, and it was back and forth.
And then they were like, okay, they're going to switch this up.
Right, and then they just got caught off guard by the constant aggression. And now that they've, stabilized, TGF looking like this might be the actual first round that goes past a minute.
Yeah, most likely. Unless something crazy happens here. Maybe Chongar decides to push up mid.
Looking at the location of the bomb, I don't think Mokta's in any rush to take it, to take anything before the minute mark.
I like the switch up here by Mokta, though. Just playing so extremely passive. Literally no kill on either side, no damage on either side. And yet they're still playing so passive. Taking cat control just like that as well. And it looks like they have cat control, but TGF still has long control. So they don't really have too much here. They can't just take the A site for free.
How? You must have gotten some it's going to be execute coming out, and it's going to be a straight-up execution for Mokta players. As ZYK, the last man alive, thought he might... I was going to say, thought he might get hit by the grenade, but instead it was hit by the...
headshot.
Dead on hot set. Headshot.
That AK bullet just came a homing missile.
Yeah, I was going to say dead. Which means, like, perfect.
IFA.
Shot. Whew, finally a chance to breathe in this one, right? I mean, now turned into a 6-8. Mokta still has a lot of work to do. They've got to get at least 3 on the board here before TGF can get 2. Math, that's how it works. I think at this point you're already starting to look towards overtime as the goal instead of trying to string 4 rounds together and into TGF. It's a tall task with how often they can clutch.
Yeah, right now what they got to do is just concentrate on 1 round at a time. Don't think about the score. Don't think about what's happening. Just take each round and don't think about the next yet until that one is over. Don't think about the score.
Looking like a heavy cat execute here. Looking for something. And below the bridge. Right? No? Maybe. Well, regardless, kills coming back and forth, and it's a 2-on-3 out of nowhere here. The bomb not really going to be able to go down right now in the current state.
Yeah, High was in such a good spot there. They couldn't really do anything about it. They had no idea he was so close. And that's what really cinched that round there for TGF.
And that puts them on match point. This is going to be a tough battle back here for Mokta. Can they do it? They're going to need to put 3 rounds together in a row where we will see TGF out of China advance in the first seed. It's not impossible here if Mokta can put some of the rounds together that we've seen earlier in this match. It's, they've been TGF pulled away, Mokta clawed it back. They just need to claw it back one more time, and we can see another overtime here on day 2 of CFGI.
Oh my goodness. Not looking forward to that as a caster, but looking forward to that as a viewer for sure.
It's going to be...
Make it happen.
I mean, for this matchup...
ZDD, this play may be the one that wins the round for them. Oh, and he gets 2 right there. Maybe he can get a 3rd if he looks under cat. Boom. Nobody under cat there. One of the last guys to take on. So it should be a pretty easy plant. A pretty easy plant, and a lot of the time gone before they can even have a chance of retaking the site.
Yeah, it's going to be borderline impossible to retake here, but never say die for Chongar retaking B in a numbers down situation, as we've seen magic there from him in this tournament. See if he can replicate it here with TF. TF going to be taking the window, and Chongar going to try to slide through the smoke. Sees the muzzle flash of Aldrin, but TF going to pick up 1, but going to get taken out. And 1 round down, 2 to go for Mokta.
And ZDD is really showing up in both these halves of this tough matchup against TGF here.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure to see him really have to go do that turnaround. Big pick there. And Shobi, man, you have to say that he's been the man of the hour today.
Oh, that is for sure.
Both matches. That it's been so much of this has been on
Day
Shobi.
has been his day.
Jerry had a 10-5 in the first half. Shobi had a 9-5 in the first half. He's looking to go almost, if he could pick up one more, he's looking to have a 3.0 KDA, right? No, 2.0 KDA.
And he would also have
We both have
a 20 bomb. And Shobi, there he goes. He got a 20 bomb. That's up to Aldrin, but
loses 2 KDA. But there it is. For all the world, it looked for a while. It was so hard to predict how that match was going to end up because, you know, at the beginning you were like, oh, this is going to be a great one. It's back and forth. It's fast. It's furious. And then I was like, oh no, is TGF going to run away with it? And then Makta's like, no, they're definitely not going to run away with it. And then, well, they kind of
TGF was
ended.
like, yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah. And then it just
You know,
sort of ended.
I expected it to be a back and forth match, but not in that way.
It was
Where it was like, oh, we're gonna smack you around a little bit.
I mean-
3 rounds in my favor. Or did you even get a kill? Maybe 2 kills in those rounds.
exactly.
All right, let me do
right.
that back to you. Crazy,
And all in like the first 20 seconds of the match.
insane. Like, just especially the way that I really like the way that Makta tried to take it to them in the first 3 or 4 rounds of that entire match, where they were just storming into B connector and just taking over B and everything like that, and just defending from an aggressive standpoint.
That being said, you also have to praise the unrelenting pressure that TGF was putting onto them.
You can only stand up against that for so long.
Right. Well, it was maybe they actually held that pace for a little too long, and Makta was able to string some rounds together once they finally realized that they're just going to keep coming at us, because it was even through the side change, right? They changed sides and immediately TGF was coming out on the defense and playing super aggressive towards them.
You know, TGF, in every single one of these games, TGF has just not let go of the gas pedal.
Yeah.
I mentioned that in the other games as well. TGF, if you're going to play against them, you got to notice that they don't let go of the gas pedal, and you got to be prepared for that. If you can somehow prepare for that and learn how to defend against it, you're going to win.
The other thing to
Makta
note,
just wasn't ready. I mean, they tried to attack aggression with aggression, and it seemed like it was going to work.
it did.
And I'm not sure what really changed. They started to play a little bit too passive, maybe.
I think it's what you said, right? They expected the tempo change, and then it just never came.
Yeah.
You know that, well, it wasn't this last round. Well, it's this round. Oh, well, it wasn't that round. Well, it's this round. And then they were like, they're just not going to change the tempo, are they?
Yeah, and once you lose just a couple of rounds there, that's a big deal in Crossfire,
Yeah.
because you only can go up to 10, and every single round is a gun round.
Yeah, that
There's no
being
free
said,
rounds that you want to give away.
I mean, once the tempo finally did slow down, it was what, like 7-6, 7-5? So really, I think it was 7-6.
No, once the tempo slowed down and Makta started winning rounds with 7-3, but when Makta started to lose rounds again, it was like 7-5 or 7-6.
Yeah.
7-6, I think.
No, anyway, regardless, it was a super interesting series, even though Makta does come out the loser. But that being said, don't forget they have a shot. I mean, I'll still be looking forward to their match against SV, because I think this is such a strange match between TGF. I think it's like a bit of an outlier, just not only just in this tournament, but as far as competitive matches go. I mean, it seemed very unique to me the way that this one unfolded.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing else to say about that.
So I'd like to see that
It was unique.
best of.
Just that we haven't seen anything. We've seen really tight games.
Yeah.
We've seen smash games, like just one side just completely mowing over the other, and we've seen tight games in the way that like the rounds at the beginning and the middle are tight.
Yeah.
But after that, the late round scenarios, the true king of the match just comes through.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen a match where it starts off and it's just a battle, a brawl back and forth. And Makta's, of course, was coming out on top of that. And then they slowed the pace a little bit, like we already mentioned. And then they got smashed. And then they smashed right back a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then they got smashed again. It was just...
I swear, though, I feel like SV's 10-1 over TNC took maybe even more time than this match did. And maybe that was because of, you know, how it was flying back and forth and so quick and we were more into it.
That could be part of it, but there's no way though. It was 11 rounds. I mean, I want to say yes because it feels like
it
that
felt
way.
that way regardless, right? And that's really the important part.
But it'd be kind of hard to make 11 rounds longer than 16 rounds.
I agree. But regardless, it felt that way. So, as we said, we now know how our brackets will shape up. It will be SV up against Pacific Nocta, and it will be Boss up against TGF.
On one side, they will get to face their demons again. They will get some more practice, if anything. Even if they lose to SV, they'll at least have a lot of practice and feel a lot more confident going into the next, wherever they go, CFPL.
Right, especially if this roster, I think they are heading to CFPL, especially if this roster sticks together, right, and there's no roster changes. I think Mocta will be increasingly scary moving forward. Because Cart is a relatively new pickup, I would, unless I'm wrong there. No, I don't follow the Filipino
he's definitely a new pickup because they were the number one team for quite a while in Philippines.
Yeah,
and then they started to lose. Somehow they were losing. It wasn't that often. You know, they're still almost the kings. They were the most consistent, but they were losing every now and then.
I mean, they used to be completely dominant, though.
Yeah. And so they were like, okay, it's time for a switch up. We lost the most important part. We lost CFS.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and take a look at around here. It looks like the 6th round. I believe this is a pretty heavy win here for TGF, if I remember correctly. This is where it really started to, the pace started to really catch a hold of Mocta, and they started dropping a few rounds there in the middle. Why don't you help run us through this with Mr. Banana there on screen, XYZ?
Well, I'm trying to remember it as we go along, but I'm not sure. I think Mocta might have still been in their aggressive stance a little bit. No, we're 153 into the round. They're still heading back a little bit, so it looks like no. I'm just going to wait to see what is he trying to say here?
Something about these
two. He drew a smiley face, so I kind of like that.
Yeah, that is legit. But, I mean, they're getting information, right? There's nobody pushing long A.
I'm just going to guess this is the round where it was a clean sweep. I think this was the round where it was a clean sweep, or maybe one died. This is the beginning of their roll against Mocta. So I think this is a round where one died.
Yeah, I mean, this was really where it suddenly, the lead completely escalated, or got blown out of proportion during the
went
middle
from 3-3 to 7-3.
Right.
Yeah.
And then 7-3 to 7-6.
This is definitely the round where they only lose one member. And
what you see, grenades out. Oh, is that a smoke location that he was calling out? So they're going to smoke off any chance of being fired at from B. Yeah. So they smoke out everything, preventing all of this, and then immediately force through Cat.
Revenge picks off one there. Okay, so they go up Cat, they pick off one. Interesting strategy. Oh, this is where they run out mid. Oh, yeah. And he gets a triple. No, I lied. Okay. Yeah, this is the round where they only lost one.
Really, I mean...
And then the next round, they fully aced them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to say it was Shobi for that specific round that had the big play creeping through the smoke.
So many rounds, though, too.
I mean, you couldn't look up at the scoreboard and not see Shobi to double kill.
So often.
Regardless, though, we have one more storyline to keep in. Well, technically two more, right? The head-to-head between Brazil and Europe, as well as the head-to-head, or as well as will Europe pick up a single win here at CFGI? So don't go away. Up next, we do have Flipside versus Rude. We'll be right back after this.